start now. Hello, and welcome to part 3 of the card review. So I'm gonna go over some cards, and I'm also gonna review an exclusive card that's not seen before. Later on, you can have like a little bit of spoiler there, so that's really cool. But yeah, let's start with the cards. Anyways, so we have two legendaries here. We have Viziola, Lightbane, and her sister later. So a 3-mana 3/4. It's a legendary, so only one copy, and it has a really interesting effect where if you target this minion with a spell, you gain Divine Shield. So obviously you can't target it with a damage spell because the Divine Shield will go off and the damage would basically remove it. So I think this card is every card that's released, everybody says, "Oh my god, that's a very good card for Priest," right? But the problem is, every card is good for Priest because Priest as a class is not good, right? You never say that, "Oh my god, that would be insane in Druid." No, because Druids have already like a solid 30 card deck. So that's really the problem. So I think when people say that it's a really good card for Priest, it's like overrating it. But speaking to this card itself, it's actually really strong. So for example, if you do like a Mark of the Wild on it or something like that, it's a 5/6. So you can actually get a Sunwalker at turn 3 if they don't remove it, which is actually pretty cool. This is really technically the only classes that can buff this up are like Druids and Paladins and Priests, right? Those are like kind of the main buffer classes. I really don't imagine you're gonna Ancestral Healing this or something like that. So I think this is it's gonna be pretty good. We'll have to like experiment with it. Edis is much better though because you can immediately find a deck that you can put it in, Mech Mage, right? So this is a Super Flamewalker Mech Mage. Whenever you target this minion with a spell, deal 3 damage to random enemy. So like, even if you deal 3 damage to the enemy's face as a Mech Mage, you don't really mind. So I think this is gonna be really strong in spare part decks. Maybe in Shaman it can be used because I mean Spider Tank is a mech, but of course, Paramace becomes a little bit more worse. But yeah, these two legends are pretty cool. It's actually funny because when I first read this, it says whenever you target this minion of a spell, right, deal 3 damage to the enemy. So when it's your enemy's turn, he looks at this card and says whenever you. So it's like, yeah, it's, oh, maybe it goes off on my enemy's turn as well, but no, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't go reflecting or something like that. But I expect these twins to be kind of used somewhere. And in Arena, these are insane. So you should like obviously pick these in Arena. It's like a Spider Tank, right? So why would you not pick a Spider Tank? Obviously, if you draft other legendaries, such as like Sylvanas or something like that, you pick Sylvanas instead. But like, these are solid pickups when you draft against, I don't know, a Heminessing Way and something random like Lord Cho or something. Like, nobody likes Cho, okay? Alright, so we got Demon Fuse as well. This card I actually reviewed yesterday. This is a very, very bad card. Give a Demon +3/+3 is like, you either have a demon or you can't play this card. Very hard to cast. And even that, you also give your opponent an extra benefit. So it's like, I think the main problem of this card is that you have to have a demon, right? That's the main problem. So I don't think this card is going to be used. Even if it's just give a demon +3/+3, I don't think it's even going to get used. And on top of that, it gives like an extra downside. That's just pretty terrible. Like, I wouldn't play a 2-mana give a demon +3/+3. So I don't know why this last part is in there. And so far in Hearthstone, there's no card that punishes your opponent for having more mana crystals. So I imagine this to be like in a power level with like even in Arena, it's like really, really low. Because you need playables. Alright. Next card is Ardent Watchman. Can attack, inspire, can attack. Man, I'm not in love with this card either because like, so imagine you're playing a class and you have a 2-mana, you drop this card as 2 mana, right? First of all, you need to use your hero power, so you have to skip a 3-drop, so you have to play a 1-drop instead. That's like optimal case, and then you can attack, and this goes down to like, I don't know, what are you trading this against? Like a 3/2 or something. So you're gaining a 2/1, and you have to hero power again to make it attack again. It's a little bit too much. People think that this might be good at Hunter, but it's not because you play this and you can't play Animal Companion next turn, right? And if you do play at, you can go like, oh, I could just play this Animal Companion anyways. No, then you can't attack with this. So why the heck are you playing a 2-mana minion that can't go face? Okay. Next. Argent Horse Rider is pretty cool. It's basically a Andy with a Divine Shield that costs 1 more mana. This is actually not bad in Arena because you play this, you trade for the 3-2, and then you have a 2-1. They have to basically deal with a 2-1. In a sense, you play the 1 mana 2-1. Which is fine. It's like 2 cards in 1, right? Not too bad. And you can always go face with it and get a 2-1 Divine Shield. And it's actually really strong, remember? When people first looked at Argent Commander, they thought that, oh, I can trade for something. It's a 2-for-1. But they forget that if Argent Commander goes face, it's actually even more strong. It's a deal 4 and summon a 4-2 Divine Shield. So I imagine this card to be okay in Arena. And I imagine that the best way for this card to be effective is actually just going face. You compare this to Scarlet Crusader as well, right? The Scarlet Crusader, and this is although one attack is pretty important in Arena, this might be just a bit more versatile. So yeah, I like this. Silent Night, however, it's pretty bad. This was Trump's card, right? I'm not really sure. Like, it guarantees a board, but do you really want to pay 1 mana for a stealth? Whereas you can just play Minibot. Obviously, there's neutral because it can go to every other class. But the problem is that this is like overcosted, right? This is definitely overcosted. And I would prefer a 3-1 Divine Shield over a 2-2 Divine Shield. Divine Shield just means it's like an extra life, right? So, yeah. This is kind of unfortunate. It would be, okay, if you go back to this card, like, you can compare these 2 cards. Like, why this card is so much better, right? Charge is so much better than Stealth. This is another card to compare to is the Ironforge Rifleman. And it's a 3-mana 2-2 that deals 1 damage. This is a 3-mana 2-1 that deals 2 damage. And 2 and 1 is, like, so big a difference. It's like a double. So, you really need to be careful of cards that say Stealth and has an extra health to kind of tempt you into playing this. I really don't like this. Spellslinger is the most recently announced card. 3-mana 3-4, add a random spell card to each player's hand, which makes like these cards playable. Like, you are gonna see these cards playable because like this is actually really really good in a Flamewaker deck, right? Who cares what kind of spells you get, because it's a 3-mana 3-4, right? You compare this to Grove Tender because both players draw a card, but like because this is a 3-mana 3-4, you're not losing any power for the stats. And yeah, I think this card is going to be used. I'm not really sure how much this is going to affect Flamewakers or not. It's totally going to be fun. And it's a common, for Christ's sake. Like, this is going to see it. Okay, and of course, we're going to see the Flame Lance. Man, when I saw the art and the effect, when I saw the art and the mage card, I was like, oh my god, this is going to be really strong. So I'm going to reveal it first, and then I'm going to put chat up on the board as well. And then I'm pretty sure that your first reaction will be the same as mine. So, alright. Alright, ready? And go. Okay, gonna wait for chat to load up as well. Is it a lot of pork chops? Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay, so I guess Mage is getting a 5 mana, deal 8 damage to a minion. So when I first saw this card, I was like, what? Okay, maybe there was a mistake. Maybe there was a mistake. Okay, let's close the chat now. Because it's like, why would you ever play a 5 mana card, deal 8 damage, and it can't target face, right? It's very, very restrictive, and it looks terrible, right? But upon closer inspection, it's still terrible. But there are some very gimmicky things you can do with this card. First of all, it is going to see play in competitive because, what's that called? Sarad Hearthstone. Okay, because of this card. Okay. it's gonna see competitive play because of this card, and it's gonna see competitive play because of the Spell Slinger that was just announced. Okay, so even though you might not put this in your deck, you might actually play it. Second of all, it doesn't fit any mage deck that we have right now, right? But actually, it does fit one mage deck that isn't really explored too much. And I think it actually fits the Fatigue Mage pretty well. Because, like, you want to remove all your opponent's minions anyways, right? You put, like, double Polymorphs, you put, like, double Flame Strike, etc., etc. And now you have one more removal for that Fatigue Mage deck that you've been brewing about. Sure, 5 mana kill a giant may not be possibly the most efficient card to do so, but when your opponent runs out the cards, then I guess you're alright. But yeah, you can say that it is worse assassinate and stuff like that. But this is gonna see play because of cards like this, because of cards like Spell Slinger and Nefarian. Maybe Nefarian would see play. I don't really believe Nefarian would be too dominant after all these cards are released, but yeah. Another thing I kind of curious is to see what the animations is like. I'll be very excited to see like a big flame lance and like just on the board, you know, like the Holy Fire animation on WoW, right? So if just a flame lance just like, that'll be awesome. I would definitely play this card if that's the case. If this animation is the same as Ice Lance, oh, I'm gonna facepalm so much. It better not be an Ice Lance animation that's coded red. Like, yeah. But anyways, this is the new card. Hope you guys like this. And I'll see you in part 4 where we have more new cards to come out. Okay.